Alright, we have all the struts in place as far as the wire cores for the landing gear struts and the wire cores for the main wing struts, and those are in place along with their wooden supports. So we're ready to start stringing the frame, the fuselage. Well, I guess what I should probably do before we start is go to that plan. I go to the portion of the plan that shows the stringer locations. We always want to be looking at that as we're laying these on. So let's just push these things off to the sides. Sorry, should have had this ready to go. And it'll just take a second. I shouldn't need a ruler anymore. I need something to cut strip stock with. Put away the artillery. Okay. There it is. All right. Now we can take a look at our reference drawing as we go. So the first thing you want to notice is, are there any there is no need to cut stringers or splice them anywhere. Each one is long enough to go where it needs to go. So we'll just go down the line. And again, it's important that you alternate where these are being placed. In other words, we're going to do this upper fuselage to the right of the center keel, and then the next one we place will be the lower left of the bottom keel. And that's how you do the stringers. Again, these are the much lighter and a little bit fluffier stringers that Dumas gives you compared to the stiffer and a little bit stronger, sturdier ones that Gillo provides. So it's probably going to happen a few times while I'm infilling the fuselage that I put my finger through these at least once, and probably more like a half a dozen times that's going to happen. But that's where we are. I don't have any of the Gillo stringers left over from the last build. Kind of went through them, so now we're just going to work our way forward, one bulkhead at a time, making sure that the stringer is fully seated into the notch that we're going into. Don't want any lift out or gap distance between. In other words, they need to be fully seated. And it's not mission critical if one of them happens to lift during the process, since we are doing infill and sanding. But it's just better if we can get it right down the line from the beginning. So we're in. You see I'm leaving the overhang off the front instead of off the back. It's just easier to trim out here than it would be if I left them long back here. And there is no need to cut them exactly to size and then try to drop them in. That, for a couple of reasons, we don't do that. I think I discussed in one of the videos. The main reason I don't do that is I like to get that nice flowing line to the stringer. If you cut it right to shape, you can end up with some straight kind of sudden bends or breaks in the flow of the stringer, and we're trying to avoid that. Alright, we'll just drop a little bit of glue in here to begin with. How's that? There we go. Oh, there we go. Okay, and you see this alternates with the top stringer on this side. Now we're on the lower stringer, opposed to the one on the top side. Okay. This size aircraft is much more in my wheelhouse and to my liking than some of the larger kits that tend to use up a lot more resources, use up a lot more material, and you end up with a model kit. In some cases it's just, I mean, it's really too big for the area that I have for displaying them. Also, the bigger they get, the less desirable they are for, you know, other collectors. They have the same problem. Well, you know, I only have a small bookcase shelf or whatever. I'm going to put this on there. You know, I don't want it to dominate a room. I just want it to accent it, you know, that kind of thing. So I tend to prefer this scale and this kind of a standard that I like to build to. Alright, so now we're going to alternate on the top, and instead of just dropping down, we're going to go across the top this way. You can tell the weather's about to change here. Again, it's been pretty hot and dry the last couple of days, and above average for this time of year, and we're supposed to get some colder air and rainfall the next day or two, and I can feel it. Welcome, but the sudden changes, I can feel them in my bones. All right, we'll just drop the glue right in. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Lodge that in there like that. Oh, there we go. So you see how the stringer has that nice flowing curvature to it. No sudden bends or breaks. No issues at all. Tracking the line of the actual aircraft fuselage. This airplane was designed to be as smooth in transition of shape as it was in surface. So as the aircraft was developed, that was maintained throughout all of the different variations. Don't want anything rough or uneven. Simple design and smooth transitions. the rule. For the Air Express, the Vega, Sirius, all the iterations and generations of this initial Lockheed aircraft. Significant major historical airframe in the history of civil aircraft. And the military bought them. The Army Air Corps bought them. Tested them for a couple of different roles and used them as hacks and transport at various locations around the United States. Okay, so this is how we're going to roll out the rest of the fuselage. We're just going to keep stringing it up, and I'll be back later.